Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you just mess it all up. So the CBS 7 kickoff is deep, and it's going to be off the net. And it's going to be grabbed by Isaiah Scott. Isaiah Scott makes one man miss in the end zone. Scott breaks it to the near side. Scott, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Hands off, walks right in. Play on that ball right over top of the defender, and more importantly,
see the replay here. He put Caleb Smith in motion to Jonathan Banks, just threw him a little swing pass, and Caleb Smith did the rest.
Caught there. He's got a lane in the middle if he can get past him. And he might be good for a touchdown. There it is. And wow! Trayvon Sidney straight down the middle. Pulls a move on the kicker. And he's in the end zone for about 6.
And we're back for another week of Arena Football Weekly. I did a daily podcast, All Olympics, where I had to hit We Are Back with the Olympic Gambling Podcast. So I almost slipped into there and started talking about gold medals. Trey, how are you doing today, my friend? Oh, Trey might be muted. We might be having technical difficulties. Testing. Trey, can you hear me? Well, this is awkward.
I can't hear anything if you can hear me.
Yes, we are live, and Trey can't hear me. That's not good. Uh-oh. Episode 2, and we're still working out some small kinks, folks. Please bear with us as we work through this. Anything yet? Well, while Trey is working through that, we will start talking about what we're going to do. As we said in the title, we're going to be talking about the best rivalries in the 50-yard game. We've got an exciting slate of options to talk about here. We got 3 leagues: IFL Indoor Football League, AF1 Arena Football Run, and the NAL National Arena League, all rocking, rolling, and ready to go. Very exciting to see everything there. So we are working through some stuff right now. Apologies, everybody. Trey's bouncing out. He'll be back in just a second. Until then, you're stuck with just me. So my name's Adam Pelletier over at Alt Fantasy Sports. And joining me in just a minute here will be my co-host Trey from Off the Wall. Very exciting to have everybody back. We are counting down the days. We are 1 week away from NAL football next week. We'll be doing an NAL preview episode next week, as well as starting our IFL team previews shortly thereafter. Very exciting times here in the arena football world as we get prepped for another great season. AF1 starts in about 45 days. They posted today on Instagram. Great to see. So going to be an exciting stretch coming up. Can't wait for all of that. Trey might be back. Let's see. Trey, do we have you now?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And we have Trey back.
Beautiful. Look at that. We were talking just fine right before the show. We were chit-chatting.
We were
catching up. And then as soon as we go live, just
I press buttons and bad things happen. But you know what, Trey, we were talking about it earlier on social media before we got started. We have the theme for the show finally. We got buds, brews, and balls. So cheers, y'all, to everybody.
Cheers indeed. Oh, the PBR, the 1893 blue ribbon winner, but we can be bought. Of course.
Oh, we can 100% be bought. We
can
are
be
for
bought.
sale.
Your logo can be here on a future episode of Arena Football Weekly. So, hey, just let us know.
Yeah, just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Local brewery, all approved. Whoever wants to, just let us know. So, Trey, we were just talking through. I was reminding everybody we got NAL football starting next week. So, Arena Football is going to be back. And after that, we got the IFL starting. And then in 45 days, we got AF1. So, busy stretch coming up where true ball knowers will be watching nothing but arena ball on the weekends. I would say my wife's going to be upset, but she enjoys arena football almost as much as I do.
Wow. All right. That's a unique situation. Let's just say that.
It's a great situation. You know, not as much as she loves Bills football, but a close second, a very close second.
Yeah.
So, Trey, talking rivalries here. Let's get into it. Do we have any qualifications we want to put on rivalries before we get started?
I was thinking about it before, as we were coming up with the idea and brainstorming. I was like, there are some things that we could probably going forward further define rivalries, but with the nature of arena ball, right, where teams come and go, it's not very often that we even have rivalries develop, because a rivalry develops between team A and team B, then suddenly team B is not around for long. So I say, you know what, let's let it fly, keep it in the league if possible, and we'll see what we come up with. I feel like some things will overlap, some things might surprise one another, but we'll see where we go.
All right. So why don't you kick us off? Let's hear your first one. What you got for number one?
So number one here, I think this is the greatest rivalry in all of arena and indoor football, 50-yard football. This is the one, I think. 1-1 if you're taking it on the old snake draft of rivalries. And it's in the NAL, which I think may surprise some people. It's the Omaha Beef versus the Sioux City Bandits. Now, if you're not familiar with the NAL, you're not familiar with the history of Omaha and Sioux City, this is a big one. It's the old I-29 rivalry. Less than 100 miles separate the two cities. They've been together in 6 different leagues over the past 25 years or so. This is just a great rivalry that always produces really good games. Omaha's gotten the better of Sioux City these past couple years. I think they've won 8 straight against Sioux City, including that electric 2024 NAL championship game, which was unbelievable. If you have not watched that, after this, go watch that and let me know your thoughts on it. But yeah, Omaha and Sioux City, that is something to me that defines rivalry in arena football. They got the proximity. They got players that may have played for both teams, and bad blood may be an overstatement, but in some cases it might be an understatement at the same time. So that's my 1-1.
I mean, I think that also has to be 1-1 because it's pretty much the oldest rivalry we have going right now. It's been running since 1999. So just absolutely been around forever. Great rivalry, great matchups on the field, and really some characters off the field. I mean, who doesn't love that? But they played some spectacular games dating all the way back. I mean, they both came in to the league when it was the Indoor Professional Football League. So they have been around for quite a while. Well, the IFL was for Sioux City, and then they bounced around a little bit, and then they ended up together, apart, and back together again. I mean, it's just inevitable. They're almost like star-crossed lovers here in the NAL. They were always destined for each other. And like you said, the physical proximity cannot be overstated. I mean, it's just up and down the river right there. I mean, they're right on the border there between the second state in Iowa and Nebraska. I mean, who doesn't love a tough river rivalry?
Right. Yeah. Especially in the Midwest, they love their football. Those two cities and those two teams have just been going at it for so long. Like, that has to be 1-1. And it's something where I don't think people realize how long both of those teams have been around until they really deep dive in.
No, and weirdly stable throughout most of their existence. Like, they haven't really gone into dormancy at all. They've been active and running the whole way through, which is just absolutely huge. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great one. I mean, and then I think crossing over, in keeping it in the NAL, we'll go by league here.
Yeah.
I think there's another great one that's now belongs to the NAL, previously belonged to AF1, before that AFL, before that the CIF. We have the Kansas rivalry of the Salina Liberty and the Southwest Kansas Storm.
Yeah.
Two franchises that just have really grown. One of them in Salina really been a steady performer for the longest time. And the Southwest Kansas Storm, more of a modern, more of a newer model of stability as they've kind of come through these past couple of years, surviving being the Dodge City Law, and now coming back as the Southwest Kansas Storm. I mean, these are two teams that the past 2 years, when they played in AF1 and AFL, have been playoff rivals, had some fierce competitions there, games that came down to the last play in both times. And it's just a spectacular opportunity for that. I mean, it's just, you can't ask for, if you're the NAL, you can't get a better team and better set of teams and a better rivalry coming in than these two. They played fierce competitive games, and it looks like they're lining up to do that again. And there's a little bit of good old-fashioned on-field, I won't say hate, but strong dislike. Both teams want to beat the other and prove that they're better. And when the chips have been down in the playoffs, Salina's gotten the better of them, gotten the better of the Storm. But I think the Storm are really raring to go this year and show that they can be a championship team. And for them, the road is going to run through Salina.
Yeah, and I think both head coaches don't nearly get enough credit for what they do, especially when you look at market-wise in a town like Dodge City and a town like Salina, not even the biggest cities in Kansas, let alone not very big cities, and the type of talent that they're able to attract and recruit and get to the next level. And so big shout out to Coach Thomas and big shout out to Coach O'Neill for the job that they've been able to do there the past couple of seasons. And like you mentioned, 4 leagues in 4 years together. They clearly know they got a good thing going with each other. A couple times a year they'll beat each other up on the field, but off the field they make sure that they're looking out for one another.
Yeah. Heading over to the IFL, everybody's always going to say the best rivalry. Somebody said it. The war on I-4, Tampa Bay versus Orlando. The Predators versus the Storm was really a historic rivalry. But we really have, hopefully, the reemergence of one, because we had a good one in previous iterations of the NAL with the Jacksonville Sharks and the Orlando Predators. Now with the Orlando Pirates, the relocation to Massachusetts. Hopefully we can see a rekindling of that cross-state rivalry. I'm stealing one of Trey's here, but this is just, it's too good an opportunity to not talk about it, because the Jacksonville Sharks have really been a model franchise when it comes to stability on the business side, but also just a good team on the field. Had some ups and downs, but an in-state rival in Orlando could do a lot to really spark them. And I think this is just, I hope this is an emerging rivalry, and I hope that this is what we all hope it could be.
Yeah, and the regional aspect of Sharks and Pirates makes sense. Jacksonville, Orlando, like you mentioned, but even if the Pirates were still in Massachusetts, I think this is up there, because these two teams genuinely do not like each other. And it has been that way for the past couple of years. And the fact that the Massachusetts Pirates moved down to Orlando and are now the Orlando Pirates, it just makes it that much better. And it seems like the Pirates have had the Sharks number the past couple of years, but all time Sharks lead the series between the NAL and IFL days. And it's just a really good rivalry. And I was watching from, I think it was 2011. It was Jacksonville Sharks and Orlando Predators. I was watching that a few weeks ago, and I heard the announcer say, in a rivalry that is being called the Jive on 95.
I like it.
I don't know how to feel about it. How do we feel about the Jive on 95?
Love? It rhymes. It's local. Jive. I mean, nobody else has a jive. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are we gonna? I mean, the jive. It's like, we're having some fun here. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is really important. Like, we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. It's a sport. It's a game. Let's have fun with it, y'all. Don't take 100%. It too seriously. Just don't.
Yes. So if you're watching this, let us know what you think of Jive on 95. Is that what we're colloquially going with moving forward? Is there a better name? Is there an official name that we don't know about? Please let us know.
I think Jive on 95 needs to just be locked in today.
All right, that's the one.
If there's any Orlando Pirates fans or Jacksonville Sharks fans or anybody with decision-making abilities, Jive on 95 needs to be it.
Hashtag Jive on 95. Tweet it. Yeah, it just makes too much sense, and I'm just so pumped for Jacksonville to finally have a regional rival to call their own, because I know travel has just been a monster for them, and having a team that's now a bus ride away, same day there and back, that's just too good to pass up for the Sharks.
Yeah. So what else we got in the IFL? We got any other good ones here?
Yeah, we got some really good ones in the IFL. Some that have not been as competitive in recent years, but historically have been pretty fun. One that comes to mind for me is Quad City Steamwheelers versus the Iowa Barnstormers, and that is the old battle of I-80. So I-80 being the highway that connects the Moline and Des Moines. 2.5 hour drive separates these two teams. So a familiar theme that we're kind of developing here with all these rivalries is that they're not too far apart. You may have some fans that cross paths with one another out in the wild, and these games are always a fun watch. 2025, Quad City was beating up on Iowa a little bit, but these clashes are usually pretty electric. There's usually some really great games, and going back to 2024, these were some of the best games in all of the IFL. Was Quad City versus Iowa. They had a game that was 57-55, 55-53. They were just trading blows the entire time, down to the wire, last-second field goal from 50 yards out with no time left. It's like, what else could you want? So Quad City and Iowa, Midwest at its best is when you have teams that know each other very, very well and play each other a handful of times due to proximity. It's just the definition of a good indoor football rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, it's the proximity so often sets a lot of this for a lot of these rivalries, just because you do tend to see that potted up scheduling a little bit where you're going to play your local teams just that little bit more, that little bit extra. And that really creates that opportunity. So, and, again, like, it would be interesting to see how Iowa does this year. I know, Iowa's been down a little bit, but new head coach Andre Cole's coming in. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do to elevate this Barnstormer squad and see if they can make this more competitive. I mean, because they do have a longer history. I mean, we're talking about the Barnstormers, a team that has its roots in the original AFL and in AF2. So, both of these, and the Steamwheelers have the same thing. So both of these teams have that historical connection and that link. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes this year. Quad City's been spectacular. Was really good last year and has been decent the past three seasons. Really good. Yeah. Going, finishing first in the conference last year is a big deal.
Yeah, and with the Barnstormers, that's probably a top 3 recognizable brand in all of indoor and arena football, all 50-yard football, just because of, everyone knows the American underdog story with Kurt Warner. Everyone knows the Barnstormer. Everyone knows the goggles, right? So it's one where it's like, man, if Iowa can be,
the goggles are absolutely gorgeous.
If Iowa can be competitive and reignite this rivalry with Quad City, look out. These could have the potential to be game of the year candidates if Iowa can turn the corner, just because each game that they play, there's usually a little spark of something.
Yeah. Then we're heading out to the West Coast, and we got Vegas and San Diego, another geographic rivalry that got a little spicy last year in the Western Conference Championship game. Just spiciness all around last year between the Western Conference Championship. Just the Western Conference in general was extra spicy last year. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though, but we'll keep it on the field with the serious team versus team rivalries for now. Vegas and San Diego, 2 really good squads, been consistently high-performing year over year, and just geographically I mean, there's not that some of that say I'm going to stop talking and let you talk a little bit.
This spot would have been the old California clash between Bay Area and San Diego. Obviously, Bay Area is not around this upcoming year, but Vegas and San Diego is just as good over the past couple of years, where each franchise, they got started. It took some time for them to really get going, but they they're each reaching a point where we got Coach Davis has obviously built a great program there, getting people back outdoors, getting people in the CFL, in the UFL, and winning the championship last year at the same time. And then what Coach Janissers has been able to do roster-wise with the Strike Force is just unbelievable. And all their clashes over the past couple of years, especially last year, with an all-timer in the Western Conference Championship game. That game kicked off, I think, at like 10 or 10:30 Eastern. Everyone, I was at my in-laws' house. Everyone was asleep in the house. I'm watching this game on my phone. I'm like, this game is unbelievable. There's 87 points scored in the first half. I was like losing my mind. And I'm like, but also be quiet. Don't wake everyone up.
No, wake everybody up. Wake the whole damn house
You
up,
need to
Trey.
see this.
You need to watch this. Wake up. Arena football's on.
Yeah.
Just get
Nate-
tuned in. Lock in.
Nate Davis has 2 rushing touchdowns. Can you believe it? Like that. It was that.
No,
type
I
of game.
can't. I can't believe
Yeah.
Nate Davis has any rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, so that matchup was just unbelievable. They were just 2 great teams last year, and it's looking like they're going to be 2 of the top contenders in the Western Conference this upcoming season as well. So it's just San Diego and Vegas, no matter what day, no matter what time, circle it on the calendar. Make sure you tune in for it because it's just going to be such a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, just another great year on tap out in the Western Conference in the IFL.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, teams that we think will be up top. I mean, we could also bring in a team like Arizona. And Arizona has its own rivalries with multiple teams in Arizona. I mean, that lends itself to some rivalries right there. And
Yeah.
then previously we had some ownership affiliation between the Rattlers and the Sugar Skulls. So there's a little bit of big brother, little brother going on there. So
Yeah, that's the thing with the Rattlers. I think it's interesting where I think a lot of teams may consider themselves rivals with the Rattlers, but the Rattlers may not return that feeling. Where everyone wants to beat the Rattlers, and the Rattlers are like, look, it's just another Saturday in the IFL.
I mean, to quote, I don't remember who said it, but it's both sides got to win for it to be a rivalry. It's that simple.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. And I think that the biggest rivalry that we didn't touch on with the Rattlers is, let's just call it what it is. The Arizona Rattlers versus the referees. I'll rip the Band-Aid.
Oh, I was just going to say Kevin Guy versus the referees.
I'll extend it to Kevin Guy. I'll extend it to the fans because 2025, they did not go quietly into the night. Their fans were letting me
Understandably
have it on social.
so. Understandably so. And Trey, can you just kind of remind maybe some people who aren't as familiar what exactly caused? I'm sure many people saw Kevin Guy's epic meltdown on social media, but nobody might have actually seen the cause of that. Take us through the cause of it.
Yeah, so San Diego was playing Arizona, first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Dynamic matchup, power on power with the Rattlers and the Strike Force. And I've had conversations with both Coach Taylor Jenniser and quarterback Nate Davis on how this last drive went. They both told an identical version of the story, so I'm like, okay, that's good. But basically, San Diego had the ball. They were down 6 with, I think they might have gotten it with like 2 minutes left. Their goal was to drain the clock as much as possible because they knew if they give the ball back to Arizona, Dalton Sneed was going to find a way to get the ball in the end zone or kick it. Yeah. They were going to kick a game-winning field goal. So they were like, we need to leave as little time as possible. So they dink and dunk down the field. They get down there. San Diego doesn't have any timeouts. They get down to I think it was the 2 or 3 yard line, and Nate Davis is directing traffic. He's telling this person, all right, you're going to go do this, go do that. He's walking all around the field, but then the time is ticking off the clock. Another game that was late into the night where I'm standing up in my living room like, Nate, look at the clock. Like he's not under center with 4 seconds left. He gets under center, snaps it, throws a quick touchdown, catches in the end zone, touchdown. But a receiver may not have been totally set on the play, which would have been false start, or however you want to call it, and it would have negated the touchdown. But it wasn't called on the field. They reviewed something else, but you can't go to review and create a penalty. So Rattlers fans were beside themselves. Kevin Guy was beside himself, and That's how the
Understandably, I
Rattlers.
mean, anytime,
I get it.
anytime it comes down to that last play where, the refs kind of take over the game and make that call, people are going to be incredibly frustrated, and people are going to be upset, and people are going to let everybody know. And if you're Kevin Guy, who's one of the best coaches in arena football history, you have a platform where people are going to listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the catalyst for all your fans, which is fine. Like, what's sports without a good old fashioned controversy?
Exactly. Yeah. Like we hear it with some of the stuff in the big outdoor league, right? Where we're hearing some things like, oh, the refs may not have gotten this one totally correct. It's like, look, it happens at every level of football.
It does.
It does, and it's something where it's like, man. But at the same time, what I kind of duked it out with some Rattlers fans in the moment. They left a lot of points on the field throughout that game.
And that's it. Like,
they missed a field goal. They had a touchdown taken off the board due to a blatant hands to the face penalty. They missed an extra point. They went for two, didn't get it. So it's like, if one or two of those things goes a different way, that last call doesn't matter, right? So it's something where it's like, I understand, but at the same time, this was avoidable. So it's just,
if you're never going to lose a game just because of one play. There were other 100%. Opportunities there.
Yeah.
So, good look at some IFL rivalries. And Arizona versus the refs is a great one.
That's a great one, yeah.
And now we can turn our attention towards AF1, the third, just one league we're talking about, not third, last, best by any stretch. All the leagues are great. We love them all. What do we got for AF1 rivalries in your mind? What's a good one to kick us off here?
Well, it's interesting with AF1 because I was going through the list and I'm like, man, there's quite a few new teams where they just haven't played each other yet. But at the same time, you look at some of the regional aspect and it still plays with some of those. But I think the number one rivalry right now in the AF1, to me, you got to look to the Pacific Northwest, and it's Washington and Oregon. Just due to proximity. They split the series 2-2 in 2025, right? And they play each other 4 times in 2026. So we're looking at, 8 times in two calendar years. That's the beginning of a decent rivalry. And what is the rivalry called? Is it like the Battle for Cascadia? Is it the I-5? Like what are we calling it?
I think it's just AF1 After Dark. Like, we don't need anything else other than it's just AF1 After Dark. I think, maybe it's the Cascadia Clash, something like that. But AF1 After Dark is just, it sums it up because all those games have been so wild. Like, I'll never forget what, I think it was their first, I think it was their first matchup last year where Oregon got up like 20 in the first half, and then Washington just comes storming back, and Ed Crouch plays the best game of his life, just carving up the Lightning. And he just signed earlier that week, and he just lights up Oregon. And then, and just remember, we've got Dalton Cole in that rivalry this year. And, Dalton Cole is just a vibe on his own, which is spectacular. Like, you got to love that. So it's going to be really exciting to see them play 4 more times. I mean, I think that's really entertaining to see them play. And there's a good, healthy respect. And I think there's going to be some added hostility this year with Coach Miles going over to Washington, bringing several of his defensive players from Oregon with him. So now we have Oregon and Washington rating each other's rosters and players. They did make a trade earlier last week, so it's not completely bad blood, but it's very clear that they want to beat each other and they want to have that regional supremacy.
Yeah, and you have a couple of head coaches that aren't afraid to speak their mind, and you might have an issue where you have one coach trying to out yell the other coach, and it's just going to ramp itself up. So
I love it. I love it.
Energetic coaches. AF1 After Dark, to me, that is the best rivalry in the AF1.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good rivalry. I think the best rivalry at present, though, is actually the Albany versus Nashville. I think this is becoming a great rivalry. They've played 3 great games now over the years. They've all been fierce battles. over an AFL and AF1 season, 2 legacy brands as well, which I love because it's some great history. But they're 2 teams that are really setting the standard in that league on the field and off the field. And it's just great to see them consistently competing. I mean, that Arena Crown game last year was an instant classic. I mean,
game, yeah.
Albany really just showed how methodical they could be and how good their defense was down the stretch. And Tyler Kolka still just had put on a clinic, just an absolute passing clinic, working the Cats up and down the field and bringing them back in the second half to the point where they had a shot at the end of the game. Yeah. So it's just really great to see that. And I look forward to seeing them play this year. I mean, I think they're going to play a couple times and that's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, I think that's one of the rare examples where like they're not regionally close, but you could tell it's just due to how many times they played each other. And they were the top 2 teams in the AF1 last year. And it was pretty clear early on in the season that those 2 teams were going to be duking it out. So, yeah, they definitely have some familiarity. We got some folks that went over from Albany to Nashville. And so it's going to be interesting, like you said, with Washington and Oregon, have some familiarity. You have some screw you, no screw you, no screw you conversations happening on the field, and that just makes it all the better.
And that's before we get to the head coaching showdown of Damon Ware and Arbet. I mean, Ware and Arbet are 2 of the best arena minds. I mean, we have some just epic arena coaches still in the game right now. Kevin Guy, Haran O'Neill, and then Damon Ware and Darren Arbet, just legends of the game right now. And then you have emerging coaches. It's a great time for arena football right now, top to bottom.
Yeah, honestly, it is such a good time. It's crazy to think that we're only a couple weeks away from getting some live games on our TV screens, on our computer screens, and yeah, it's awesome. But sticking in the AF1, I got another one that involves one of these teams, but not the other. But they haven't played yet, so I want to get your thoughts on the Nashville Cats and the Kentucky Barrels. Obviously, we got a proximity thing going on there. Nashville or Tennessee, Kentucky, SEC country, duking it out back and forth between these 2 developing fan bases. Where Clarksville is going crazy for the Cats, and Kentucky, they're building out what they got over at NKU. And to me, I think this has the potential to be a foundational rivalry for this league to build around. Loaded rosters, great coaching staffs, regional rivalry. Coach Arbet versus Coach Walker, similar mindset.
I think Walker. That's more what it is right now. It's Walker versus Arbet for me, because you could tell that, Arbet wasn't the Cats head coach 2 years ago, but I think that there was a lot of Walker wants to beat everybody. I would also accept Cedric Walker versus the world, and I would bet on Cedric Walker depending on the odds you give me there, because Coach Walker is just a fierce competitor, tenacious. He knows he can put a team on the field that can win every game, and he has a plan for how to win every game. And I know that last year with Billings, they had some challenges going out early in the season, but he found a way to turn that team around and have them on the brink of making it. And I'm very excited to see what they do this year he returned some talent, and he also went out and found some new talent. He brought some key pieces, and again, he brought like a fierce defensive tackle in Ezekiel Rose. He got Ezekiel Rose out of Albany into Kentucky. I think that's going to be huge. And I do think that regional proximity between NKU or Kentucky and Nashville is going to be huge. I mean, I think that's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, and I think it's going to hopefully all goes well with it, and they're able to set the foundation of this is what a rivalry in Arena Football 1 looks like moving forward. And just have that be the blueprint, so that when hopefully Albany does get a regional dance partner, that they can be a 2-hour bus ride away for. Set the standard there. Michigan gets a dance partner that's 2 hours away. Set the standard there. So there's so
Michigan
much
to Minnesota isn't too bad, and Michigan, Saginaw's kind of up there, but Michigan to Minnesota isn't too bad, and I think that could be an interesting regional rivalry. I'm also interested to see what happens with Beaumont. I think Beaumont has a chip on their shoulder, as does Minnesota for that matter. So 2 teams with chips on their shoulder always lead to entertaining games. And I think we're going to see some more rivalries emerge in the newer league, AF1, as these teams get their footing under them and we kind of get to know them. And again, some players changed teams throughout this whole stretch, like Malik Henry, went from playing for Walker, now playing in Michigan for, oh Lord, why am I blanking? Oh
Liotta.
my gosh.
I got
yes, Liotta. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I was visualizing him and I was like,
Yeah,
oh
you
my
saw his
God,
face.
what is his name? I saw his face. I was like, I know him. I love Coach Liotta. So, but just you have these new brands. And I think even as we look at like the IFL, I'm excited to see what New Mexico does. Bringing a guy like Jerome Johnson in should allow them to, do they get a rivalry going with Vegas? Jerome Johnson formerly played in Vegas, been a superstar for them. Now he crossed over to the expansion team. What goes on there? I mean, it's just each year we get new rivalries. Each year you get new bad blood, and you don't know what it's going to be. And I think that makes it really exciting and keeps things fresh for us in the arena game.
Yeah, and there's probably two teams that we look at on paper. We're like, oh, that'll be a good game. This time next year, we might be talking about them as the rivalry to look for in 2027, just because things can change that quickly in the indoor and arena game. So, yeah, it's just so much fun to see these teams duke it out. And to your point about players hopping from team to team occasionally, sometimes a player may start the season on one end of the rivalry and end the season on the other, and he gets the perspective of both sides. So it's just what a wonderful season and what a wonderful sport we had ahead of us to look forward to in these next couple of weeks.
So we played with it a little bit with Arizona versus the refs. Is there any other not on the field joke, tongue-in-cheek rivalries you want to bring up that you've got?
I got a couple, yeah. One is I'm going to go to upstate New York here. The dear friends, they love me up there, up in Albany. To me, I put Albany versus everybody. And I know they embrace that mentality. They love it so much. They love to pit themselves as sort of an underdog, even though they're not the underdog. Let's just be real. But I think we should embrace it. Everybody versus Albany. Albany versus everybody. Let's lean into it. I know they love it. Everybody else, let's love it too. Let's lean into it.
I mean, it's great. I mean, they ran the table last year. There was a pretty strong consensus that they could play any team in the 50-yard game and beat them, regardless of code. Like, if they give them 2 weeks, I think they do fine in an indoor game. 2 weeks of prep, knowing it'll be indoor rules, right? Done. I would have put that roster. I think that roster would have done pretty well. Maybe one day, Trey, when we hit it big, we'll sponsor that crossover cup between all the leagues and let everybody compete.
Yes, please sign me up. Just let me know where to be, and I'll be there. Yeah.
I think that's a really good one. I think we talked about a little bit earlier. Said Walker versus everybody is a great one. Yeah. I would also like to throw out there the Omaha Beef versus the what was it? The Minnesota, was it Minneapolis or Minnesota Warriors?
The Minneapolis Warriors. Yep.
I would love a rematch of that game if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens there. I'm very curious. I don't think the outcome would be the same, but
that's the beauty of sport, right? Where what was it? Little Giants, where they were like, just one time, I beat my brother down Cherry Hill, and it's like it just takes one time, and that was the one time it took. So yeah, God, I love the sport so much.
That's it. I'm not sure if he'll see this, but I might. There are some coaches, I might say, with some clock management. I'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Oh God.
And I will say, I think that's more. I think that's more just bad luck, genuinely, than anything else, because it all worked. Like,
right.
That the strategy worked. The strategy was sound, and if it works, we're talking about how they're a genius. And it's just that game of inches thing where it's like minuscule, but a little fun with Gary there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like you said, he converts one play. He's a genius for doing it.
I will say, like if you rewatch that Southwest Kansas Storm game, the receiver's wide open. They just the quarterback and the receiver read it differently, and They just
Yep.
miss it. Like it
Yep.
was. I say that jokingly to kind of have some fun, but
Yeah.
it's the call was right. The call was right. I don't know how much you change in that instance. It's just an unfortunate perception.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm excited to see what rivalries kind of sprout themselves up here, both on and off the field, because there's usually some off the field jibber jabber that goes on between teams, and especially in the age of social media where everybody's got a microphone basically, and they can type a comment, and that becomes the bulletin board material for the week.
Does the San Diego Strike Force social media team count as a rivalry against themselves?
Yeah, we need.
Hey, that was the one off-field joke. One off-field joke. We're allowed one a game, one a show,
Yeah.
one off-field joke a game.
Yeah, San Diego Strike Force versus two-factor authentication. That's the biggest rivalry in sports right now. It's X two-factor authentication.
I mean, Trey, any parting thoughts here before we wrap up? We're gonna have some people upset at us, I'm sure. But if you're not getting people upset, you're not doing your job right, or you're just not having enough fun. We're just buds drinking brews, talking ball, and one non-ball joke per show.
Yes, we met our quota for the one non-field joke, but no, I'm just super excited for this upcoming season. I'm interested to hear what people think about their personal favorite rivalries in the sport. Whether it be any of the three leagues that we talked about, whether it be in the arena landscape, like let us know what rivalries you like in the comments. And there's just so many different storylines to tell these different stories. And this team you got some folks that have never played each other. You've got some folks that have played each other for 5 years. You've got some folks that haven't played each other in 5 years, just due to being like Salina, Omaha. They haven't played each other in nearly 3 or 4 years at this point. So it's going to be exciting to see that reignited this upcoming season.
Yeah, Cats versus Firebird was the only current one. Albany versus the Orlando Predators, spectacular. That was always social media gold. Jeff Levac and John Chaney never disappointed. War on I-4, we talked about it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Sabercats versus Rattlers, always good.
Yeah.
R.I.P. the Cali Clash.
Me and AFC, we've waxed poetic on the Cali Clash on Instagram before. God, what a rivalry! Bay Area, please come back. We need you.
Yep. So, Trey, I think that's it. You got anything that you need to plug here on the way out?
Got a fun interview dropping tomorrow on Off the Wall at Off the Wall FB. F as in foot, B as in ball. If you're watching this on the socials, I think Adam tagged me on his posts and everything. So you know where to find us on the socials if you're watching this. But have a really fun conversation with Tucson Sugar Skulls head coach Rayshawn Kaiser tomorrow, dropping. Really fun conversation about his journey playing indoor and arena football, his transition into coaching, and some of the fun that he's had along the way. So really fun combo coming your way tomorrow morning. So make sure you're subscribed, like, all that stuff.
There you go. There we have it. I'm Adam. That's Trey. This has been Arena Football Weekly, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you just mess it all up. So the CBS 7 kickoff is deep, and it's going to be off the net. And it's going to be grabbed by Isaiah Scott. Isaiah Scott makes one man miss in the end zone. Scott makes it to the near side. Scott, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Walks right in. Little play on that ball right over top of the defender. And more importantly,
See the replay here. He put Caleb Smith in motion to Jonathan Banks and threw him a little swing pass. And Caleb Smith put the rest.
Caught there. He's got a lane in the middle if he can get past him. And he might be good for a touchdown. There it is. And wow! Trayvon Sidney straight down the middle. Pulls a move on the kicker. And he's in the end zone for about 6